To this now, the eThekwini Municipality is resuming normal rolling blackouts. Residents have been subjected to fewer power cuts than the rest of the country after last year's deadly floods decimated the electricity infrastructure. But now a new schedule has been released. Lethiwe Mdluli joins us now live for more information on this. Lethiwe, what is government saying in terms of its announcements? I understand that not everything has been fixed as yet. So are residents able to cope, and is the infrastructure that was supposed to be fixed since last year going to be fixed if they have to go through load shedding?
Well, Maseko, you'd remember that last year during the floods, there was a lot of infrastructure damage here in eThekwini, and as a result, the eThekwini Municipality had to have talks with Eskom, and during those talks, it was agreed upon that the city will experience a reduced load shedding schedule. And since then, the city has been experiencing stage 2 load shedding, where residents and commercial businesses and other businesses as well experience about 2 hours of load shedding a day. But tomorrow we have been told by the municipality that we're going to be migrating to the national schedule, which means that stage 1 up until stage 6, eThekwini Municipality or eThekwini as a city will be affected. And of course, I've been speaking to residents. They're saying that they're not ready and they do not understand how government has failed to intervene up until now. And I've also been speaking to a lot of commercial businesses in terms of restaurants, and they are saying that it's going to take a lot for them to try and make ways or make do to keep businesses going so that they are able to provide for their employees and also their customers. Right now, though, I'm at the Durban Chamber of Commerce. I'm speaking to Prashin Maharaj, who's the CEO for the Durban Chamber. I want to bring him in and talk to him about how business is going to be affected. Mr. Maharaj, thank you so much for joining us at eNCA.
You're welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So I know that a lot of big business is going to be affected, but in speaking to Maxwell Mthembu a bit earlier on from the eThekwini Municipality, yes, he did explain that businesses will only experience, or big business will only experience load shedding from stage 7 up until stage 8. What are your reactions regarding what is happening in eThekwini?
Firstly, our immediate reaction is that we should continue to be exempted from load shedding because of the reasons you articulated. The looting and rioting that took place in 2021, the COVID pandemic, and also the floods. And we have yet to recover from that. Now, to overlay this upon us is going to cause severe hardships for businesses that are already burdened. To come back to the fact that the eThekwini Municipality is saying big businesses won't be affected, that's partially the truth. So the Durban South Basin, where most of the large industrial companies are situated, yes, they will be exempted until stage 6 or 7. But the other large businesses situated throughout the city of eThekwini, and depending on where they're located, they may or not be affected by the load shedding. Yeah. So our stance is we must revert back to the status quo.
Yeah. And in terms of commercial businesses, I was speaking to restaurants on Florida Road, and they are saying that they're losing money because they do have to save up for diesel. Diesel is expensive on its own. They have to pay their employees. They are affected because they fall into the block of those businesses that will be load shed moving forward.
Yeah, generally the hospitality sector, the employees are already not well paid because of the nature of the industry. And when there's load shedding, they're going to give the employees short time. So for us, not only will the businesses be affected, those that can actually afford a generator can buy diesel. What of those that cannot afford a generator? So you have a double whammy. Both businesses will be affected and the employees will be affected. And that just causes economic hardship in a time where petrol prices are at all-time high, interest rates have increased, taxi fares have increased. So for us, that is why we're reiterating the call. The status quo should remain, because I think especially the city of eThekwini cannot afford to go back to what the country has as a load shedding schedule.
And, in speaking to Maxwell a bit earlier on, he did say that Toyota, for instance, in the southern parts of Durban, they are supplying majority of the businesses with electricity because the infrastructure there is already damaged and they haven't been able to fix it. It's going to take about 3 years.
Yes. Yeah, so, and that is what I was alluding to earlier, because we are already suffering without load shedding, with reduced electricity supply and stable electricity supply because of the flood damage. Now, you're going to overlay load shedding. We can't afford it. For me, and this load shedding schedule has been put in place without consulting us as the private sector. So we're calling, consult us, and then we can put together some kind of load shedding schedule that we all contributed to, that's amenable to us, because especially the SMMEs, some of them are situated in the middle of residential areas. SMMEs are situated everywhere, and the SMME sector is the engine of our economy, and if they are affected, then the whole engine comes to a standstill, the supply chain comes to a standstill, because a lot of the big corporates and the big industrial users rely on SMMEs as part of the supply chain. So as much as they are saying the big corporates are not affected, but if their supply chain is affected, then the corporate is affected.
Of course, and I'm sure eThekwini is an economic hub. Already we are suffering with investments and businesses wanting to come to the country, but of course the load shedding issue is persisting, which means that they're going away.
Indeed. You know, eThekwini is a port city. We're already well aware that in addition to the ESCOM problems, we also have problems with Transnet. We run an inefficient port, and a large part of the business community in Durban relies on the port. So, 3 months ago, there were only 2 tugs to operate vessels in the port of Durban, and businesses took a strain. So as a port city, we're also affected by the inefficiency of Transnet in addition to ESCOM, and that is why I'm reiterating again, there should be some kind of a benevolent decision to exempt eThekwini from load shedding at beyond stage 4.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Well, Masego, there you have it from the Durban Chamber of Commerce. They haven't been consulted as private businesses, and they are asking to be exempted because of the ongoing issues that the city faces, and also the fact that this is an economic hub. A lot of businesses are conducted here. Mr. Maharaj did basically say that they're going to be losing a lot of businesses if load shedding continues.